Welcome to On Ice, the show about the show 20 years later. Today, we're talking about Lost, Season 6, Episodes 6 and 7. I'm Will. Also here is Ben, and you can watch full video episodes of the podcast on YouTube. We also release a bonus hangout show that happens every single week, and that can be found over on patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton. And before we get into anything Lost related, we have to start with the most exciting development in the, I guess it's Lost related, but in the world of Lost. Ben, I'm talking about Josh Holloway's new show.
I saw
Duster.
that you've been watching this. Duster,
baby.
Duster.
But I want to be on record. I want to be the first Duster super fan out there. This is the new show from J.J. Abrams and LaToya Morgan. They co-created it with Josh Holloway in the lead role. It's great.
Nice. I just imagine Sawyer wearing a duster. I don't really know anything else about this show. Is it a Western thing?
It's his car. It's a Southwestern
car.
So okay, it's an American crime thriller.
Okay.
Yeah. The series set in the Southwest in 1972 follows the FBI's first black woman agent, who is not Josh Holloway. That's played by Rachel Hilson, working to stop a crime syndicate with the assistance of a talented getaway driver, Josh Holloway.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's the getaway driver.
Nice. Averting total disaster on that.
Great casting decision up top to not have Josh Holloway. Yeah.
Agent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Keith David is also, and he's the main big bad, I guess. Anyway, but it's a pulpy crime thing. I'm the biggest Duster super fan right off the top. I've only seen one episode so far, the pilot, but it was great. And the title sequence is so fun. It's like little tilt shift, little cars running around, little car chase type stuff. Very fun. Highly recommend Duster. I've come to really love Sawyer and Josh Holloway's performance throughout Lost. And as we're coming to a close on Lost, I'm glad that I'm just psyched to see Sawyer back on my screen.
Nice. Well, we'll do the Duster recap. Duster on Ice in 20 years.
Yeah, and Josh Holloway will still look the same. I mean, he doesn't look the same. He's just he's doing the Sawyer thing still. Like he looks like he's just playing Sawyer. So far, no wet jeans, but have you seen a trailer for it at all?
Nope.
I mean, okay, he's doing the Sawyer thing as far as his character goes.
Nice.
Wet jeans, fingers crossed. All right, let's move into what we're actually here to talk about, which is Lost. We've talked extensively about the bear of a job the Lost team has of ending the show on a high note here in season 6. And I think that makes their decision to release 4 mid-episodes in a row all the more courageous, Ben. A truly brave, creative choice that really makes you think about how we only have about 10 more episodes to make this entire project hit. It's a bold shot to call, really ramping up the tension, knowing that they're pissing away many of their final precious minutes on some bullshit.
Well, I think you could wrap up any show in 15 minutes if you really want to. You can. They did.
Yes, this is true.
Did wrap it up somehow. So
it does end.
So based off of that logic, I think you can do whatever you want with the other 13 episodes of the season.
I mean, I am being a lot harsher than I actually mean it. I think it's just butting against the network TV of it all. Again, we're okay, we just have I don't know. I'm a rare defender of the some of the innovations in the and TV storytelling with the advent of streaming are kind of interesting, and might benefit, like the prestige TV model of having like just like 10 episodes instead of 20. I think that like should help make each episode hit harder. Like Andor is doing a really, really good job of that, for example. And so like, even though they've shortened their season from like 28 episodes or whatever we started with and Lost, and it's not quite 14 anymore, but maybe each impact or each episode will have a little bit harder of an impact. See, I just really love the setup for season 6, and I'm just jonesing for more of that feeling. And it seems like we're just doing a little bit of wheel spinning. That's really all I mean by it. So it's less that I'm like down on these episodes and just like I'm just chasing that feeling.
Sure. Well, you can't unveil too much new stuff, though, to be fair, because you got to wrap it up, you know? If we had too much going on,
yeah,
that'd be a bunch of extra ends to wrap up.
I mean, they did the cool thing of like introducing Jacob and like killing him in the same episode at the end of season 5. It was kind of interesting. So like I trust them with their introduction things. I feel like they did. What did they add this? I don't know. You're right. You can't be adding too much at this point. I'm not necessarily asking them to add more. I don't know what I want. So that's the problem. Don't listen to me. I mean, because I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't make TV shows for me. The people who are angry about stuff on the internet, like this is the last kind of person that you want to be making a TV show for. And speaking of network TV, Zoe reports that this is the most Buffy-like season yet. And I can see that based on what I've seen from a scene of Buffy. Have you seen any Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No. So I have absolutely no idea what that means because I just know there's a vampire slayer, or presumably there's a vampire slayer. So I don't know what the vampire vibes are. But
yeah.
I'll take her word for it.
Yeah. I mean, these episodes make sense for her to say that, I think, because it's like set in high school and Buffy is like a high school girl who's a superhero vampire slayer type thing. Okay. But it's like more like mythological rather than like superhero type stuff. It's a good show. It's fun. But again, Ben, quit getting us off track. We're not talking about yet another television show. We're talking about Lost. And let's talk about season 6, episode 6, Sundown. This aired March 2nd, 2010. It was directed by Bobby Roth, written by Paul Zbyszewski and Graham Rowland. Let's start with the Flash Sideways timeline here in 2004. This is a Sayid episode. Following the events of the season premiere, LAX, Sayid arrives at the home of his brother, Omer, and Omer's wife, Nadia. Oh, shit.
Oh. What happened?
He shows up with flowers that are pretty clearly for his brother's wife. Dude, I've won. When all is said and done with the Lost,
fumble the bag.
Yeah, I mean, like when all is said and done, like I'm curious if I'm gonna have a different perspective on this. I have to assume like we're getting close to like the end of Sayid's arc here, right? We don't have too many more episodes. We got like a Sayid centric episode. It's like, is this it for Sayid? But like, it really is. Man's just a horn dog, dude. Like throughout the show, kind of his underlying thing. I don't know, but his role, his
maybe
job
that was
in this
kind of a writing against type thing. Maybe that was a progressive thing at the time, because again, remember, show starts like in 2004, top of war on terror stuff, top of American racism against people who look like Sayid, and then J.J. Abrams like, what if this guy?
It was a romantic interest.
He was a torturer in Iraq, but he's horny. What if he was horny?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody thought about that before.
Mm-hmm. Granted, he's still going to be a torturer. Yeah. Don't forget, that is his past. But
he's horny.
He's horny. His job in the Flash Sideways timeline is that he translates contracts for oil companies, or at least that's what he reports.
Yeah. Still in the part of the American Empire.
Yep. At dinner, Omer takes a call to Nadia's chagrin. She says, like, no phones at the table. And he says, dinner's over.
Dinner's over, yeah. Very jerk move.
Yeah. And so, okay, so Nadia and Omer have kids. They love Uncle Sayid. They're psyched to see Uncle Sayid. He says, like, go check out, I've got like a gift for you in my bag. Go check it out. And so they run and go get his gift. And then they run back into the room and they say, like, Mommy, we found a picture of you in Uncle Sayid's bag. Oh, and wait, is this your underwear too? Like, they didn't say that part, but
yeah,
he's a little upset, obsessed. Very odd.
Yeah, busted.
Yeah, and Omer definitely clocks him for that, like looking over at him through the from the other room.
Yep.
Why you got a picture, bro? And late that night, Omer wakes up Sayid on the couch. He's like, "Hey, you know how like if you want someone to do a favor for you, you shake them awake at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
and tell them all of your problems."
These guys they presumably live in Alaska as well because it is broad daylight outside at 2 a.m.
Late one night, Omer tells Sayid that he recently borrowed a substantial amount of money from a loan shark, but had paid it back. I think this is to open the restaurant or for his restaurant business. Yep. I think that's the idea. Nevertheless, the loan shark has told Omer that he will owe interest forever. Like, hey man,
that sucks.
That's just business. That's just business thinking. Just keep charging him. That's a good innovation in like the payment processing space.
Yep.
Just keep charging him the same thing over and over. Omer asks Sayid to help with this problem. Sayid's like, "Oh, you need money?" He's like, "No, man, I need you to help with the problem." Wink, wink. And Sayid says, or he refuses because he no longer wishes to be a violent person.
Kind of also dick move by Sayid though, too, you know? This is about like as close to a, relatively realistic situation where you being a violent guy in your past and kind of being a tough guy.
It's about as altruistic and ethical.
In a very altruistic, ethical way. Yeah, exactly.
Mm. Nope.
Nah, that's not me anymore.
Yeah. The next day, Omer is severely beaten, and Nadia begs Sayid not to get involved. Nadia and Sayid discuss their feelings for each other.
That's psychology. Nadia using psychology on Sayid.
Please don't go
get involved.
Kick these guys' ass.
Don't kill them.
They discuss their feelings for each other, leading Sayid to tell Nadia that he doesn't deserve her. That's such a cool move to be like carrying her photo around and like bringing her flowers. And then like the second she's like, "Hey, I'm getting the sense that you're like kind of into me." And he's like, "No, we can't be together, babe. It's not going to work out." All right, man, you're psycho. Later on, Sayid is taken to see the loan shark, and we see that it's Martin Keamy, played by Kevin Durant, KD.
The most tough guy, definitely the most tough guy name. Keamy. Sounds like sounds like one of those green guys from Toy Story. Little green aliens.
Are you saying that because it's kind of like Army?
Nah, it just sounds like what those guys would be called. I don't know what their names are. Or what
Army guys. Keamy guys.
No, not the Army guys.
The aliens?
The aliens.
Oh, gotcha.
squishy alien guys.
The claw, those guys.
Yeah, those guys. Gimme. I don't know.
They're kind of like, those were kind of like minion style guys, right?
Proto minions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's, I mean, this is kind of your ongoing project to document like all of the different, like minions is like a thing throughout so many different movies. Yeah. Before there were minions, there were minions.
The Stooges. Three Stooges were a sort of minion.
Larry, Curly, Moe, and Banana. But okay, I'm loving seeing Katie again. He was so much fun in whatever season that was. And I think he does a great job. There's a great moment where he's doing the villain thing of engaging in a mundane task, but that's supposed to be like super threatening. And his version is cooking eggs.
Yep.
But he goes a little too far with it. Like, he offers Sayid like one too many options of eggs. He's like, "Hey, I'm making some eggs, man. You want something?" Like, you clearly want to put him on edge. We all know the score here, though. Like, he's a villain. He's dangerous. He's like, "I can make him sunny side up. I can make him scrambled. Make him hard boiled, soft boiled. I just really like eggs." You ever had that?
I think he offered him a poached egg, which is also another really badass guy thing to do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Let me menacingly make you this extremely delicate style of egg.
You know, the thing about poached eggs, Sayid, you want to put a tablespoon of vinegar in with the oil to keep those, or the water to keep the egg together. I think he's way off track at this point, but he's just really into eggs. I guess it's there to drive home the connection to Eggtown, that episode, right? Like, we got really focused on eggs in that one, and that was the bad bargain episode, and we're seeing the sort of the mirror image of the bad bargain here, where like there's no good way.
But just correct me if I'm wrong. I believe we got to the bottom of it. Eggtown was named Eggtown because there were eggs, right?
Well, yeah, and the bargain, yeah.
Well,
yes.
But it was
it's just like an internal reference. But yes, I think it was.
People like Lost fans were like, "Oh, because of the bargain," but I thought it was confirmed from the creators that they were like, "It's called Eggtown because there were eggs."
Because of eggs. Well, yes, and now I think they're bringing up eggs to remember that episode.
Sure.
Where there was the bargain.
Well, I'm just saying. Yeah. It's still just about literal eggs.
Well, yes.
Yes.
After a short conversation, though, Sayid
don't you remember
blows
the last
him
time
away.
we ate eggs? like 50 episodes ago?
Previously on Lost. Eggs.
Oh, it's Egg City over here.
They're like, Egg City. That's close. Oh, it's just Eggville? Eggborough? I don't know. Back to the drawing board. All right. So after a short conversation, Sayid kills Kimi and his men, including Kimi's henchman, Omar. Yeah. Pretty easily dispatches everybody.
Yeah, extremely easily.
But while leaving the scene, he hears a noise in the freezer. And he opens it up to reveal Jin, who's tied up in there. What the heck? Jin?
I watched this on Netflix and Netflix subtitles love to give away what's about to happen. You know?
Jin's muffled screaming.
Well, no, like, okay, Kimi starts talking at the beginning of the scene. Kimi starts talking from off screen, and it's like
Kimi about to die.
Kimi's voice. Kimi's voice in the background or whatever. It says like Kimi, right?
Yeah,
and then his thing before it's
the
revealed.
Yeah, turns around and like, oh wow, yeah.
And then for the Jin's thing, when it's just muffled voices, it just says muffled Korean yelling.
All right, I wonder who that's gonna be. Yeah. It's kind of it. I know it's a TV show, so like, of course, they're not gonna show like anything like super boring, but it is kind of funny that like kind of no matter what, these guys were always going to lead really interesting lives, right?
Yeah.
Although like it's definitely like Jack's life is less like a lot of the lives are less crazy.
Yeah.
But no one is really like, well, I mean, I don't guess Locke's life is pretty boring.
The Iraq War still happened. You know?
Yeah. Yeah,
9/11 still happened.
Presumably,
to be clear. Presumably.
Or maybe no, maybe they invaded Iraq for the right reasons this time.
Maybe it was
it was
based on something else. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we don't actually know in the original timeline whether or not 9/11 actually happened. 9/11 is never once brought up.
Yeah, that's true. And also based off of everybody's behavior later on that plane, we talked about Jack when he's on the plane.
Yeah.
Hey,
why can't I go into the cockpit while the plane's flying?
Based on that, it did not happen. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no reason, I guess.
Al Gore.
No one's ever wanted to do that. Come right in, Jack.
Al Gore won big time. Easily won Florida in that timeline.
And so they didn't need to do 9/11. Guy who thinks Al Gore did 9/11. All right. 2007, the original timeline. Following the events of the previous episode. That's so good. Thank you, Wikipedia, for saying following the events of the previous episode. Yeah, so this one that came out after that episode. So this one is indeed in sequence with the previous episode. Great. All right. Sayid confronts Dogan about the poison pill.
Yep.
That old pill that Dogan tried to get Sayid to eat. Dogan claims that Sayid is evil and kind of like indicates that the little torture thing that they did to him, like electrocuting him and dusting him with stuff, whatever, that was kind of like measuring his thetan level or something, right? Like, whatever they do in Scientology, they see if you're clear or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm brushing up on my Scientology in preparation for the new Mission Impossible.
Nice.
Are you a mission head? Do you choose to accept?
I do. Recently accepted all of them into my heart. Good. And then also very cool. We let Shelly's parents, watch our streaming stuff. They cheat out. Speak of another reversal. Parents.
Yeah.
Mooching off the childs. Shelly's dad.
The master has become the student, I see.
Over the winter, I noticed somebody was watching through all of the Mission Impossible movies like 1 week, and then Shelly confirmed it was her dad. So her dad has also accepted, which is very kick-ass.
The next time they came over, Shelly's dad was wearing like sunglasses and he had grown his hair out.
Yeah.
Acted just like Tom Cruise in number 2. Yeah. I mean, they're great. I've got IMAX tickets ordered. We're going to be dead center of the theater.
You're going to do a road trip.
Road trip. Nice. We're now getting on a plane to go to see Mission Impossible now.
At the Scientology building in LA.
I mean, they've got the best screen.
Yeah. Watch it out front.
No, we'll go inside. I mean, you have to like sign some papers and stuff, but you just can't beat that surround sound that they have at the Scientology Center. All right. So Dogan and Sayid get into a struggle, but Dogan, good fight scene, I would say. Pretty exciting.
It's interesting that you say that because I was about to say that I thought it was a very crappy fight scene. And really? I've got a little tip that I've never heard anybody say before, which probably means it's a bad tip. But if it turns out to be good, then I invented it. I think a good fight scene is a good scene if it looks good when you watch it at double speed as well, which I did to double check myself, to scientifically double check myself. I was like, that was kind of lame. That was daytime TV show fight or whatever. So I went back, watched it at double speed, and it looks like, slapstick animation fight or whatever.
That seems hard.
No.
This is a crazy rule.
If you watch
sucks.
Watch a Jackie Chan movie, watch a classic, watch Police Story, and watch those fight scenes
at 2x speed. Isn't gonna look goofy. You're saying if I put on John Wick at 200%, it's not gonna look goofy.
It looks good. Watch it at 2 double speed. John Wick will still look good. Jackie Chan movies will look also very, very good. A bad fight scene will look goofy. Look like
that can't be the case. I will have to test this.
Folks, try it out.
Take the Ben fight scene challenge and watch a fight scene at 2x speed. I guess for a show that like technically might qualify as sort of like a adventure science fiction drama series. Well, I'm talking about Lost. You don't get a ton of action, and there's always like the threat of violence, but you don't get a ton of action scenes.
In Lost,
like fight scenes, yeah.
Sure.
And which
we get some of this stuff occasionally, and we get some gunshots.
You get more gunfights, I think, and like sort of like one-off explosions and stuff. I think it just takes it's a lot. It's a whole art and craft in and of itself to choreograph a close quarters combat scene or whatever. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, as far as like the Lost fight scenes go that are like this one it's been a while, so maybe I've just been trying to, maybe I was just more surprised at it, and like they knock the set around more in like what came to mind is like the sword fight from the Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, like when they're like on the wheel and stuff, or not. No, that's from a different one. But they're like in the barn or whatever. I was getting sort of like, kind of like, over the top, goofy action in a fun way though. Vibes from this.
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna put it like, damn, dude, this was like the Raid 3.
Sure.
Or anything.
Sure. Folks, watch this episode, rewatch it at 2x speed, and let us know what you think.
Yeah. Down below. At the same time, the Man in Black, aka Boschlock, sends Claire Little. Are we gonna see Bosch again? I thought he was gonna like keep popping up, but now it's like it was Bosch for like 2 seconds, and now it's mostly. I don't want to say he's Blacklock, so I'm gonna be saying Boschlock.
It is a I shouldn't call it cool. Nice little casting trick. Though I don't know if Bosch really cost that much money back then, but you get David Bowie, resurrect David Bowie from the dead, have him come in, be a character, have him transform into another guy that costs not David Bowie stuff, and then it's just David Bowie, Joe Schmo.
What a fascinating pull for like A-list actor. Like a dead musician who like did act sometimes. But I get your point.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. It's fun to see like Terry O'Quinn like be that character. That's fun. I just I like Bosch.
Yeah.
I hope my big hope for this season, and it has like nothing to really do with like. I just like seeing Bosch, and so I want to see Bosch again.
Sure.
That's my main hope. So yeah, The Man in Black sends Claire Littleton into the temple to ask Dogan to come out. He refuses to leave the temple and imprisons Claire. They put her in the Silence of the Lambs hole.
Yeah. Claire's hair update. Haven't done this in a long time.
Yes.
Literally matted like a dog's hair. I feel like that wouldn't happen. I think it's hard for a human to let your hair get matted unless you're trying it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Is she human at this point though? You know, it's been a while. And we know that she's been taken over by something, or at least that's the implication. She's not been taking care of herself. It doesn't seem to deter Miles though. He's still like, damn, Claire's hot.
Yeah.
He literally says,
throwing that in a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he's just into the matted hair, insane person look. So Dogan gives Sayid a dagger and instructs him to kill the Man in Black in order to prove that he is still a good person. Sayid does as instructed, but the stab didn't take. Dagger has no effect, Ben. What the freaking heck?
What? That'd be a tough situation to be in.
Yeah. Whoops.
Whoop.
My bad. Never mind. Sorry. Let's talk it out. The Man in Black explains to Sayid that Dogan never expected Sayid to succeed, only to get himself killed in the attempt. He then says that if Sayid cooperates, he can have anything he wants, including a dead loved one. And of course, we're intercutting with the flash sideways, with seeing Nadia, and Sayid says that like the one that he loved died in his arms. And so I'm thinking it would be funny for Boschlock to reward Sayid with like reviving Nadia. And Sayid is like, ooh, actually, there was this other lady named Shannon. No, it's great to see you too, babe. It's so good. I just thought, you know, since we're on the island, we would have like the island lady that I had the thing with here.
Nice. I'd be so bad at genie situation in general because my, kind of have goldfish mindset on a lot of things. I just think of the most recent thing. I would not remember Nadia, even in an episode where I'm constantly flashing back to Nadia.
What would you wish for then?
Well, I don't know, because this is my kind of goldfish brain on it. The guy, Boschlock is like, I can give you whatever you want. And then I'm thinking, oh, okay, it's very stereotypical, but do I want like the, house in the Hamptons type thing? What am I looking for? I don't know. Car?
And meanwhile, like Nadia's like behind the tree ready to come out, and you're like, ooh, I'm like hungry. Like I could have like a sandwich, like I feel like I had a really good sandwich at one time that I've never been able to find the recipe for. And like they went out of business. Maybe that. And I was like, what the fuck, Ben? Just say me.
Beer. A beer, please.
One
beer.
One PBR. Another PBR. Like
for my third wish, I wish I had 6 wishes so I could get through this 6-pack.
Like, yeah, in most cases I wouldn't give any more wishes, but I think it's gonna be safe to give this guy 6 wishes. I'm fascinated by this guy. Like, I'm just gonna give him unlimited wishes and just follow him around, and he just only wants more of like unnamed Dharma beer, like unbranded. Huh. But yeah, Sayid is sent back to the temple with a message for the others. And he delivers the Man in Black's ultimatum to the others, which is that if any who do not... Let me start over here. Sayid delivers the Man in Black's ultimatum to the others. Any who do not leave the temple before sundown will be killed. This, understandably, causes a panic amongst the others, most of whom, including Cindy, decide to leave. Amidst the chaos, Kate Austin returns to the temple in search for Claire. There's a real like open door policy at the temple.
Yeah.
They've been like pretty secret, like hanging out in this temple, and then like Claire walks in, Kate walks in. Like it's a real like all right, why don't you just everyone.
Have we seen the door? Maybe I'm just missing it, but I feel like I don't.
No, I don't think so.
I don't have a good mental image. It just seems like they're in a big square thing without any doors. But yeah, people keep walking in.
Yeah, I mean, I think Claire walks in from like darkness, like it's some sort of tunnel, maybe. Okay. I don't know.
Magic,
but I don't think we
makes sense. Kate, how'd you get here?
There was like the secret way out or something that she just kind of like appears again. But yeah, I don't think we've seen, because I think weren't they gonna try to go in at some point, and then Hurley's like, oh, we actually go down here, or maybe I'm confusing other thing. I don't know. But yeah, this is where Miles tells Kate that Claire's at the temple, and he adds totally unnecessarily that she's still hot.
The hot one. Yeah.
Yeah. Good to hear that she's still hot. Thanks, Miles. Great. Good news. That's good to hear, man.
Did he know her from before? When did he know her? Can't remember.
Well, she disappeared after he showed up, but it wasn't for that long.
Was she pregnant then?
No.
Okay. Yeah. That's way too early.
Correcting like, she had just given birth. She can't.
Well, no, maybe Miles is a big time freak.
He's a freaky guy. So Kate confronts Lennon, who's not named in the show, but I guess is named Lennon.
Sure.
Kind of mad that she confronts John Hawkes, who takes Kate to Claire. Kate explains in the pit, Kate explains that she has been raising Claire's son, Aaron, for the past 3 years. She says, no, I raised him. And I think I like asterisk here. Like, he hasn't been raised yet. He's still like in the process. He's 3. You can't really quite take credit for like, oh yeah, I raised him.
Yeah.
Especially because like you're not right now. Like currently you're
good. Yeah, Your Honor, how can my wife say that I haven't raised my child just because I've been absent? You call me an absent father for the last 3 years. He's only 3 years old. He hasn't been raised yet. There's plenty
of the race left to run.
There's plenty of time for me to get involved in raising him.
Yeah. It's not a good... Well, you see my point? Like, Claire's trying to take credit for saying that she raised him.
Yeah, Kate, but yes. Well, still fall back to my straw man thing. I mean, I kind of see what you're saying. In a technical sense, I see what you're saying. In an earnest sense, I don't know if I take your side on that reasoning, though.
I'm not saying that like Claire should get any. Well, I'm not. Okay,
Claire should definitely not get any credit.
Yeah, but I think that maybe Kate should consider adjusting her, like, especially when you're approaching, like, she doesn't realize that Claire's evil mode now or anything. Yeah. But so like I feel like you want to approach it sensitively.
Yeah,
be like, oh, I've been taking care of him.
Yeah,
is maybe how I would phrase it instead of saying like, oh yeah, I'm his mom now.
Yeah,
or something.
That is true. She does say it in a very like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm his mom now. I'm doing a great job. Yeah.
Yeah. He like doesn't think about you at all.
Yeah. It doesn't. It's all good.
Yeah.
You're dead to him.
Yeah. That's all I'm trying to get at. Yeah. So yeah, Kate explains that she has been raising Claire's son, Aaron, for the past 3 years, but is unable to continue speaking with her because
you're getting an attitude.
Just talk to the hand. Meanwhile, Sayid reconfronts Dogan, who reveals how he came to the island. Several years ago, he was a businessman in Japan who became drunk one night and caused a car accident that killed his 12-year-old son.
It's a little
Jacob.
That's a little racist.
Why?
Because drunk Japanese businessman running somebody over is 100% a trope.
Is it? I'm not aware of this.
Yes.
Okay.
It's big time trope in at least Japanese movies.
Our little homage to Japanese cinema. We're including a racist trope.
I mean, I think drunk Japanese. What do you call it? Salaryman. Drunk salaryman is a trope too. I mean, it's a real thing too. But whatever.
Yeah, man. That's how you deal with being at work, man. It sucks. Jacob I'm not trying to say it's not racist. I just didn't know the trope. Jacob visited them in the hospital and offered to heal Dogen's son in exchange for Dogen coming to the island and never returning.
How are you
after Dogen
when he was explaining that, kind of wondering, and that's it. Why are you trusting Jacob at that point? He's a guy who came up to you in a hospital.
You do anything to get your son back.
Yo, I will fix your son. But you gotta come with me to my island. Man. You gotta come with me to my island. Like, no, dude.
The nurse is like, he says this to everybody, like, just ignore him.
Yeah.
After Dogen finishes his story, Sayid tackles him into the spring and drowns him in a very abrupt, sudden way. He's like, "Hoo!" That was springtime, baby. So yeah, he straight up drowns Dogen in the spring, and then Lennon comes in. John Hawkes is like, What have you done?
What have you done?
And so he's like, "Hoo!" And then he slices his throat. Dogen's death evidently allows the man in black to enter the temple and to attack the others as the smoke monster. Oh shit. I gotta say, it's hard to cheer for Dogen, even though Boschlock is probably evil, but I'm not enemy of the enemy is my friend, right? But I'm not really been out of shape about Dogen and Lennon being killed, really. Not, kind of where I'm at.
Sure.
Not that I'm not necessarily saying that the show is asking me to feel too bad for them at this point, but as far as a struggle between good and evil that might be said, I still don't know about Jacob, man. I think I'm supposed to kind of think that he's generally good, but I don't know.
I think of, in my heart, Jacob evil. Boschlock also evil. This is a situation of two evil gods.
That feels right to me.
In my heart.
That feels right to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely not super psyched on Jacob's methods, I guess. I don't know. He'd be meddling. Even though he kind of has a Jesus vibe-ish sort of thing. Or the way that Christians sometimes portray a white Jesus, just kind of randomly appearing and holding President Trump's hand as he signs a thing or whatever. Literally doing that for Kid Sawyer sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm I don't trust him. So Ilana, Sun, Lapidus, and Ben arrive at the temple shortly after the attack begins, searching for the other candidates. While there, Sun finds out that Jin is alive. Ben goes looking for Sayid, but flees when he sees that Sayid has killed Dogen and Lennon. Ben tells Sayid that he can come with him. He knows a way out, and that there's still time. And Sayid says, "Not for me." Pretty cool. Pretty cool moment. He's and Ben's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to get the dang heck out of here." Kate is separated from the group and goes after Claire. Ilana, Sun, Frank, and Miles Strum flee through a secret passage. After the attack, which leaves almost everyone dead, Sayid, Claire, and Kate join the others with the man in black outside the temple. And we see a first use of slow motion in a while on the show.
True.
That was kind of interesting. So this is the most Game of Thrones feeling episode of Lost, I think, so far. Started kind of slow, but, kind of fun. But yeah, I'm still going to give it a 3.
It's kind of another Buffy the Vampire Slayer reference for me, too, where I have no idea what that means, but I'll take your word on it. The Game of Thrones thing.
Yeah.
I give it a 3.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's fine.
I enjoyed it. Had a good time.
Yeah. I just there was such a high beginning to the season, and I, want to leave that headroom. This episode of On Ice is brought to you by Ben and I. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel if you're liking what you're hearing, and telling a friend about the show. Also, head on over to patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton. We got stuff for you there, too. Thanks for listening. Let's talk about Season 6, Episode 7, called Dr. Linus. This aired March 9th, 2010. It was directed by Mario Van Peebles, and it was written by Edward Kitsis and Adam Horowitz.
Mario Van Peebles.
That's right.
The famous one.
Yes.
Wow. Is this his first time directing? I did not. I feel like I would
there's
have
no
caught
way.
It if you had said it before. No. I mean, is it his first time directing Lost? Yeah.
I think it's got to be.
I did not.
Unless he did a season 1 thing that I before I started.
Yeah, I feel like I would have heard that. Wow. Very cool.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, man works a lot, so. I guess could go through his IMDb later. So, yes, this, let's start with the 2004 Flash Sideways timeline. We have one Dr. Benjamin Linus as a history teacher at a high school. He corrects the principal when he calls him Linus. He's like, get out of here, Linus. And he's like, Dr. Linus. He's teaching about Napoleon and how his greatest challenge was the loss of his power on the island of Elba. In TV and movies, teachers love to begin a lecture 30 seconds before the bell rings and write a single word on an otherwise blank chalkboard.
Yep.
Something that happens. Any Napoleon thoughts? I think we're pretty obviously drawing the connection from Napoleon to Ben here, but and his, quest for power, but
short.
Very good.
I drew a picture of Napoleon one time when I was in 3rd grade, and I presented it at a poster fair or whatever. I did a little research thing on Napoleon, and then I got a big painting of him, and then I recreated the painting of Napoleon, and that's all I know about Napoleon.
Were you a big fan of Napoleon as a child or something?
No, I don't really know how I got into it. Maybe it's because he was French, Talked about being a little bit of a Francophile as a child.
Yes. What would be the Latin name for a Francophile child? Is there some sort of Latin prefix we can add to Francophile or something? Interesting. I don't think I ever had too much of a relationship with Napoleon. I liked the Ridley Scott movie that people hate.
Sure.
Thought that was a lot of fun.
That's new. I haven't watched that. Yeah. Don't know anything about it.
One day in the teacher's lounge, Ben Linus has a particularly loud conversation with fellow teacher Leslie Arst, in which they complain about the lack of funding at the school, especially since Principal Reynolds has made Ben watch over the kids in detention instead of chaperoning the school's history club. John Locke, a substitute teacher at a nearby table, suggests that Ben become the principal instead.
Awesome.
Insane interjection, and doubly insane that Ben takes it seriously. The sub, well, you should be the principal. It's maybe I should. So just we talked about this, I think, last week or maybe 2 weeks before. But 2004 was a different universe than 2010, and again, it's a totally different world in 2025. If this storyline was set in 2025, Alex's parents would bomb Ben's house for implying the East India Trading Company has a complicated legacy or something, rather than this oh man, I have to look after detention instead of teaching history club.
What do you do at history club?
I feel bad for teachers. I don't know. There's those did you have academic decathlon?
No.
At your school?
No.
I mean, I wasn't in it, but I knew that there's I think it's competitive facts somehow.
Competitive facts? What did you say?
I assume so. Okay. Is it trivia? Or do you have to be good at writing essay? I don't know what that was, but it seemed to be some sort of competitive teams versing each other doing competitive school.
The question is Napoleon. Ben. Short
guy.
Correct.
Short guy. Final answer. He's French or something.
Ding, ding,
ding.
Damn. Correct.
Extra credit. While tutoring his star pupil, Alex Rousseau, Ben learns that the principal is having an affair with the school nurse. The sequence of events that lead up to this.
Another trope.
Well,
the nurse. Why doesn't anybody ever blackmail the nurse for cheating with the principal?
Wait, that's your problem? So Alex comes to Ben's house at night asking about history club, which was this is all just, dude, something was in the water in 2010, which is when this came out. This is when we were sophomores, and we went to different high schools, but about half the teachers at my high school were having inappropriate relationships with students.
Another thing we didn't have at my school, as far as I know. So I guess there's some upsides.
Sounds like someone was an ugly kid. No. But yeah, this scene had my hackles up. I mean, I'm sure you weren't right on, man, go to the teacher's house at night. Or were you okay with this scene?
I thought it was odd.
Okay, there you go. But then they're doing tutoring in the library, and Alex tells Ben about the principal's affair with the nurse. She's like, "Oh, that pervert Principal Reynolds went to Yale, and I need a letter of recommendation from him." And Ben's like, "A perv, you say? Why? Has he done something?" And she's like, "Ew, no, not to me. Promise you won't tell." Ben's like, "Yeah, dog, you're a mandatory reporter. You can't promise you're not gonna tell."
Well, you can promise.
But I think that's unethical. That's unfair to Alex, right? I think he'd probably say
well, he's a mandatory reporter, so he's got to figure it out now. He's got to mandatorily
I think if you're asked,
gets the answer now.
Yeah, you have to say if you're a mandatory reporter. It's kind of how it works. It's the actual version of if you're a cop, you have to say.
Sure.
If you're asked if you're a mandatory reporter, you are mandatory. It's mandatory to report. You are a mandatory reporter, and you have to disclose. You can't just say yeah, I'll keep your secret. I mean, luckily, Principal Reynolds is just getting nasty with the nurse rather than student. So it's all above board in my book. Go with God. Ben enlists Art's help in hacking the nurse's email account and tries to blackmail the principal with this information and take his job. This is just straight up the vice principals, right? They just do the vice principal's plot here. Danny McBride show. Ars wants a parking spot next to the maple tree and better lab equipment for science class, and he barters with Ben to ensure that.
People in movies love to barter for that kind of stuff. Me, not an altruist. I'm bartering for Xbox. I already have an Xbox, and I don't really like video games that much. But
your first move has failed. What a bad opening salvo.
Okay. Take that one back, Genie. Beer. Beer me again.
Beer again. Yeah. Wait, I already have a beer. Oh. Give me 30 seconds, then I'll get back to you. So principal and nurse getting nasty over school email is another insane wrinkle too.
Yeah.
And this is way too late for that to be happening too. 2010.
Yeah.
Like email's been around.
The you got mail thing happened in like the 90s or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the movie was in the 90s. It wasn't a real thing.
For anyone confused, if the Tom Hanks,
and that other person,
Meg Ryan,
probably something.
Yeah, movie was real, not real actually.
Totally fake.
Totally fake. Could happen though. But yeah, like the novelty of like, damn, I'm gonna get my shit off over school email is like you are well past the grace period on that, if there ever was one. And I would say there isn't. There was no grace period for getting your nasty shit off over school email. But like it's almost at this point, if you're like sexting on school email in 2010, you like that's part of it, right? Like you're kind of like asking to be caught, and it's part of the thrill.
Yes,
am I right?
I guess. I don't know. People are stupid though. It's like when the Ashley Madison thing or whatever, yeah. And then people talk about just like the different email addresses, like the domains. It's like, yeah, I guess
all the .gov addresses.
Yeah, .gov and just business addresses, MIT, all like schools and stuff. And I guess it's like people are just lazy too,
I guess, yeah.
I'm not gonna set up. They're like, I'm not gonna set up an extra Gmail account for this. I'll just use my university one.
Yeah. I mean, it does like, I guess I'm never going to really understand it, but like, I don't get the like, you people unable to compartmentalize that, not even just like holding aside any of the like the unethical like nature of like your affair or whatever too. But like, just, and like, I don't get like being horny on Instagram, for example. Like, why do you need to be? Why does horny need to creep into like everything? I don't know. You can't figure this out. I don't know, man. Yeah. Maybe I'm not making sense here. But,
no, it makes sense. Yeah.
But you want to be like scrolling through your inbox and being like, okay, like potential job opening, or like, oh, for the deal on like Birkenstocks, let me get 25% off. And like, ooh, let me suck your shit. Like that's good to you. Like you want to be like into you want to like have that alongside the promo codes, big dog.
You lost me big time on the Birkenstock thing. If that's is that a real thing?
You're unfamiliar with promotional emails.
Oh,
sometimes you'll get emails.
No, but I thought the Birkenstock poll was maybe related to a real life event.
Well, they're having a sale, and if you use code Dr. Skeleton, you'll get that coveted 25% off. No, I don't know, but like it's just it's the like the official correspondence alongside being nasty. Like sure. I would say I would even think that like you would just want to, for your own sake, let alone like for like discoverability's sake, being like, oh, let me log into my nasty email, like my sex email, and it's where it's like sex email time, rather than just having it all like mingled together.
Sure,
I think that's my point. Anyway, I forget what we were talking about. Reynolds says that he will write a negative letter of recommendation for Alex's college application if Ben makes good on his threats. So once again, Alex is in the crosshairs here. This time less literally, but still her future is at stake, and Ben is unwilling to sacrifice Alex's future. He backs down. He does, though, use his new leverage with the principal to get out of covering detention and restart the history club. Ben is also seen at home caring for his sick father, Roger, who says he wishes he and Ben had never left the island and abandoned the Dharma Initiative. Ben's dad is like, damn, I wish you weren't such a bitch, dude. Like, you could have been so much more. And we do see in this timeline that Ben would have had slightly different, but still weird, glasses.
Yep.
Any other things to mention about the Flash Sideways timeline?
Don't think so.
My only question remaining is like, I wonder if anybody involved in making this episode has been to high school. Like, it felt very bizarre. All of that. In 2007, the original timeline, following the events of the previous episode, Ben, Ilana, Miles, Sun, and Frank Lapidus flee from the temple after the devastating attack by the Man in Black. Ilana discovers that Ben killed Jacob after Miles examines Jacob's ashes using his ability to read the last thoughts of human remains. Yeah, a little bag of ashes. He's like, what? Oh, it was you. You killed him, Linus. After the group travels back to the original survivors' beach camp, Ilana ties Ben up and forces him to dig his own grave so that she can exact revenge, as Jacob was a father figure to her. The Man in Black arrives and attempts to recruit Ben, stating that he wants Ben to take over the island once the Man in Black leaves with his followers. He frees Ben, so he's got a power to unclasp ankle restraints, I suppose. I guess that's the...
Yep.
Add that to the list. He frees Ben and tells him of a rifle standing against a tree about 200 yards into the jungle. And Ben just takes off running. Like, while Ilana's looking at him. I feel like he could have waited for her to, like, look away, but whatever. But she gives chase, and as she is trying to recapture him, Ben finds the rifle and gets the drop on her. But rather than shooting her, Ben only wishes to explain why he killed Jacob. He was afraid of losing his leadership position on the island, and he felt rejected by Jacob. He was angry, because he chose the island over his daughter's life and was unable to forgive himself for letting her die. He says that he's going to go to the Man in Black. And Ilana's like, why? And he says, because he's the only one who will have me. Really devastating moment. But then Ilana says, I'll have you. And she walks away. I thought that was a really great moment. This is like, we've seen how good Michael Emerson is in a lot of different ways, and we've seen how good Ben the character is at like talking his way out of stuff and like bargaining and whatever. In this case, he is not bargaining. Like, he has nothing to gain here. Like, he doesn't need to, like, she doesn't have the drop on him. He is the one in a position of power here. And he is finally being earnest and honest, like maybe for the first time ever, and explaining why he did what he did. And I thought it was a very effective moment. Very good scene. Thumbs up from me. So Jack and Hurley, let's flash over to them. They agree to return to the temple. Hurley is dreaming about cheese curds here in this scene, and you can tell because he says the words cheese curds in his sleep. Hurley attempts to stall Jack, as Jacob had warned him of the attack at the temple. Jack straight up calls Hurley a tanky. He says, I'm going to go with Richard because at least he isn't stalling. Folks? Nice. So they come across Richard Albert, who leads them to the grounded 18th century slave ship Black Rock. Richard is holding the chains in an interesting way. He said he has not returned to the ship in his time on the island, even though he's been there for longer you could possibly imagine. He has become suicidal here on the island since Jacob's death because he believes that his life on the island has been meaningless. I think we have a meta moment here, Ben. Richard was told that everything was happening for a reason. And now he won't know the mystery. And he has to reckon with it. He attempts to kill himself using dynamite. And Jack agrees. He's like, Hurley's like, oh, hey, man, we probably shouldn't help him kill himself. And Jack's like, man, he wants to die. It's going to happen one way or another. Which is literally the opposite of what we... Yeah. I was very upset with Jack. But I do like where Jack ended here, though. The more I've thought about it. But yeah, so Jack even helps, knowing the island won't let either of them die. When the dynamite fuse goes out, Jack convinces him that they are on the island for a reason. They do have a purpose. I like Manic Jack now, I think. Or I like this version of him. I mean, he's a frustrating character to the end, but I like Crazy Jack. Like he's I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. So they travel back to the beach and reunite with Alana's group. Meanwhile, Miles has dug up some of the diamonds from Nikki and Paolo's grave. Remember that? That was kind of a cool thing because, like, of course, yeah, Miles would know about the diamonds. Yeah, because he's able to like read their thoughts and whatever, their last things. Ben tries to he's like, I can give you that $3 million, or 3.2 or whatever it was, whatever number it was. And Miles is like, yeah, I don't need your chump change. Now I got like $8 million in diamonds from those jabronis over there. Again, he says jabroni. This has happened before on the show.
What is going on?
I don't know.
On this island with the language.
Because you caught that too, right?
Yeah.
Is it like trademarked? and like we just like it's just we just want to say something like it. It's so crazy. And then this ending. During the reunion, everybody's on the beach. First of all,
this is great.
Well, like, yeah. I guess I forgot that like Sun and Hurley were married. You know? Like Sun like runs over and like Hurley's back, and she like hugs him. And I guess I know that they're friends, but it was played as a real heartwarming reunion.
Yep.
And then dun 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 dun. Charles Widmore is shown to arrive near the island in a submarine. A very James Bond-ass ending to this.
Well, wait. Hold up. One of my favorite moments from the reunion is, and I forget who says either of these lines, but somebody's like, Dogen's dead. And then half of the people are like who's Dogen?
Yeah. Yes, I did write that down. Who's Dogen?
Awesome.
Great stuff,
it's gonna be difficult to explain. He's a Japanese guy. He's got a friend. His kind of looks like John Lennon. His name is Lennon also for some reason.
He might be John Lennon.
John Lennon. Kind of don't really know what their deal is, but yeah.
But he's dead now. Like,
he's dead. In a temple that you've never heard about either. Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Dogen. I've been meaning to bring this up for a long time, but and I haven't looked it up on my own either. Dogen doesn't strike me as a real name. Is it?
It's a funny name.
It is a funny name. Is it a real name, though? It kind of also seems like maybe a racist thing, too.
Dogen is a Japanese Zen Buddhist monk, writer, poet, philosopher, founder of the Soto school of Zen in Japan.
Okay, well, I don't know why did I assume that a lost character Zenji wouldn't have some guy like that? Name. Yeah. That's stupid of me, but okay. Dogen.
It's actually not racist to call the Japanese guy Dogen. I'm gonna give this episode a 3 as well. Didn't see any Sawyer at all.
Yeah.
So how am I going to give this a good score?
It's okay. Yeah, it's like a 3. It's a 3.
Do we agree? We got 4 middling episodes in a row.
Yep.
But it's still
I don't think of a 3 as middling.
No.
3 is good.
3 is good. 3 is literally good.
2 is okay. 1 is bad.
I would say 2 is bad. 1 is terrible.
To me, this is. I think about this for my like Letterboxd stuff. 1 bad. 2 it's okay. Maybe a 2, 2.5.
No, 2 is rude.
Okay.
We're not doing halves is the thing.
Well, I know we're not doing halves, but that's why 2 is okay to me. It's okay. It's not great.
3 is
2 is like it's not great.
I think there's a really wide range of 3 is the thing. I think that 3 ranges from okay to good. 4 is great. 5 is
all-timer.
All-timer, yeah.
For me. Yeah.
And so that's why I think that like it's almost like I'm almost thinking of it as the bell curve going on. Where 3 contains like a lot of stuff. There's lots of 3-star things that can be like can be good, can be kind of bad, but like it's whatever. And 2 is like, oh, okay, no, this is like there's something here that's like is really like off-putting to me. 1 is like, yeah, offensively bad to me some way.
Okay.
It also arguing about letterbox like philosophies is deeply, deeply annoying.
Well, this isn't that. This is
lost.
This is lost on ice numbers.
Yeah.
Do not disrespect them, listeners.
Mm-hmm. But I guess I didn't. I was harsh in the intro. I guess these were fine. These were fine episodes. I want more. That's it for the show today. If you like it, want to hear more from the two of us, consider joining our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton. Every week, Ben and I release a bonus hangout show. And what do I mean by a bonus hangout show? That means we're just like shooting the breeze, man. But it's a good time. We've got all this pent up like events and thoughts that we have to talk about to each other over the course of the week. And we've been doing this for a very long time. Do people not realize this is like we're well over 500 episodes that we've been podcasting here. So we're pros at this, all right? So head on over to patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton. Get what's going on over there. You can write into the show, drskeletonsartschool@gmail.com. Comment down below. What do we like? Watch your fight scenes at 2x speed and report back what you learned from that. That's your assignment for the week. Next week, we are watching Lost Season 6 episodes 8 and 9.